Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. I was surprised because
Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured.
Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely.
The star is born, Elon.
You know what they say, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. As if Pride Month wasn't gay enough, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have officially broken up. And I'm devastated, do you know what I mean? Being a right-wing grifter, they were my heroes, do you know what I mean? But now what am I going to do? Who am I going to look up to now? I did actually get called a right-wing grifter, which it mainly just make me laugh because I was born in Newcastle, raised to be a Labour guy, right? Because that was what everyone was when I was growing up, right? They failed us. So now I hate them all. And simply because I said Donald Trump's smarter than Kamala, I became a right-wing grifter in some people's eyes. I fucking love the internet. Elon Musk and Donald Trump is like one of those classic relationships, you know, sparks fly at the start, you immediately click, the sex is great, and then somewhere along the way you start to realize, I think you're a psycho. Which probably happened for both of them, right? Because like they're both used to getting their own way, so they're not used to coming up against someone who is also like that. And Elon's over here going, why won't you listen to me? And Trump's like, why the fuck are you saying I'm a fucking sexual predator online, mate? What the fuck is going on? And can we just eat this for 1 second, right? The richest man in the world is accusing the most powerful man in the world of helping cover up one of the greatest conspiracies of our time by tweeting. What a time to be alive, right? It's never been a better time to have a YouTube channel. Honestly, this is fucking insane. So here's the tweet. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. That's a real fuck you. And clearly Elon feels betrayed, and we'll get into why later. But it makes sense. Remember, we were told that they would release the Epstein files immediately, and instead, God knows how long later, they released this bullshit to a bunch of influencers, which was the same photographed shit that we've already seen online years ago. I mean, here's Trump and Epstein here. They were friends for the best part of 2 decades. They flew on Epstein's private plane together multiple times, and awkwardly for Trump, he actually described Epstein at one point in, I think, 2002, as a terrific guy, and said that they both enjoyed beautiful women. It's not the quote that you want out there, is it? Apparently they had a falling out at one point over a property deal, and the rumor is that Trump thought that Epstein was being inappropriate towards younger women in his company, and that was basically the end of it. However, in recordings of Epstein in 2017, he did say that him and Trump were best friends at one point. And it does make you think, like, was there anything going on? And we don't know, because he hasn't released the fucking files. Now, you'd think that if there was anything incriminating in there on Donald Trump, that the Democrats, when they've been in power, would have absolutely used that to destroy him, because they've tried everything else. Unless they're also incriminated, which is more than likely, given fucking Bill Clinton was his best customer by the sounds of it. So let's take a little look on what Trump had to say when he was asked, will he release the Epstein files?
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so, because, you know, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
It's not looking good, is it? Why would there be phony stuff in there? It's an investigation. Most of it should be confirmed whether it is true or false. One thing that has been pointed out, which I think is a fair point, is if Elon Musk really thought that Donald Trump was some danger, why would he have his kid around him so much? I mean, he's basically been an unpaid babysitter for Elon's kid, this guy. And to be fair, this tweet came out from Jeffrey Epstein's defense lawyer, who was his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say unequivocally that he had no information to hurt Donald Trump. I specifically asked him. So who the fuck knows, honestly? And I think that this is why now more than ever, Donald Trump has to release the files, because now if you don't, it's going to look like you are covering something up. And a lot of Trump fans, and don't get me wrong, I think he's a funny guy, right? I can't lie. If you're going to defend him for not releasing the files now, when he's had the finger pointed at him like that by someone very close to him, that's the Trump derangement syndrome in reverse, that. Because then you're at a point where you're like, you don't care that he might have done some fucking disgusting shit before. Like, I think you should care. Now, let's talk about the reason why Elon Musk has gone after Donald Trump, because this isn't like an out of the blue thing. I feel like this has been coming for a while, actually. I don't think Elon is impressed with how Trump has been going so far. And a lot of people aren't, to be fair. The tariffs. Elon runs a fucking business that relies on, you know, moving parts from other countries. So it is going to massively negatively impact his life as well. And as much as Elon professes to be a man of the people, that is going to piss anyone off. There's also some people speculating that Elon's position directing Doge to try and help the government saving money drew too much attention to a point where, you know, people were comparing him to the president, who's really in charge here, and that could have, you know, caused friction. And some people think that the reason he left Doge was because things weren't going the way he wanted them to. He wasn't being given enough power to do what he wanted to, and there was a lot of frustration on his part. But the straw that seems to have broke the camel's back for Elon Musk is the big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump is bringing in, and he fundamentally disagrees with it, mainly due to the fact that it looks like it's going to increase the debt of America rather than reducing it. And when you see Elon Musk, all the way up until this point, he has always been about cracking down on the debt. Even in front of Donald Trump, he said that.
Provided the economy grows faster than the money supply, which means you stop the government overspending and the waste, and the output of real useful goods and services exceeds the increase in money supply, you have no inflation. And you also drop the interest payments that people pay. The reason the interest payments are so high is because the national debt keeps increasing. So the government is competing to sell debt with the private citizens. This drives up the interest rate. If you cut back on the deficit, you actually have an amazing situation for people because you get rid of inflation and you drop the interest rates. And that means people's mortgage payments go down, their credit card payments go down, their car payments go down, their student loans go down. Their life becomes more affordable and their standard of living improves.
And I remember watching Elon right before the election saying, look, we're going to have to tighten our fucking belts here because we're basically living beyond our means. And if we want to tackle this, we're going to have to get serious. Now, this is the way the interest on the US debt has been looking for the last 5 years, right? Go back to 2020, you're just over 500 billion. And now you're at over $1 trillion. So while Elon's busy trying to cut as much fat out of the government as he can, he's then seeing Donald Trump pass through a bill that will make this even worse. Now, the reason for that is that the big, beautiful bill that Trump is trying to push through gives the Americans lots of little tax cuts where he can, while spending on things like the border security, which is a big thing that he ran on as well. Now, the bill actually saves $1.7 trillion from cutting from things like Medicaid and food assistance. And the broad idea is that this will help people and therefore stimulate the economy and get things moving in the right direction. Now, the problem is the tax cuts and the new spending are going to cost America more than what is actually being saved. And apparently, this could add 2 to 4 trillion of debt to America over the next 10 years. So as I understand it, people right now will benefit from it. It will feel a bit better. But what you're doing is you're kicking the can down the road and you're giving your kids and your grandkids and your grandkids' grandkids bigger debt to pay off later. And I guess the logic is that the economy improving now will actually help them tackle that later. I'm not that smart. I don't know. Fucking hell. I'm trying, right? It's true Geordie here. What the fuck do you want from me? But the fact that Elon has been striving this whole time to create a solution to that problem, it's like Elon's trying to dig the hole and Donald Trump's filling it up even higher, basically. It drove Elon mental. And at that point, he's like, aren't you a sexual predator? So Elon lashes out. I'm sorry, I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Pork-filled means like wasteful spending, basically. Like, he's looking at that going, if I'd have gone through that, it wouldn't have fucking looked like that. Which is interesting because for what we were led to believe, Elon was involved in a lot of this sort of stuff behind the scenes. So Trump responded with this.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here. Better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have we want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left.
So Trump doesn't really address Elon's point about it being wasteful spending. What he does do is he kind of gaslights Elon a bit, trying to make it out like, well, you only have a problem with it because it's impacting the money that Tesla are going to make. Which, by the way, the American taxpayer should not be helping big businesses. That should not be in any way a priority. Elon responds, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. He's really now digging his finger into Donald Trump's chest and saying the things that he knows will piss Trump off the most. He's hurt. He's upset. This is, it's funny to think of this as like two of the most powerful, richest men in the world, and yet they're communicating like little teenagers. But that's what's happening here. He's really upset, and he wants to upset Donald Trump, and this is exactly the way to go about it. Because Trump wants to always have that "I'm the most powerful guy" thing, and what Elon's saying is, without me, you fucking wouldn't be, mate. And now, a word from our sponsors. Now, we hear about people getting hacked online all the time, and the reality is someone could be stealing your data right now. If you're getting spam emails or random phone calls from numbers you don't recognize, that could easily mean your info has been compromised. It happens to all of us, and if you want to take control of your data, just click the link in the description below and check out Incogni. And the reason we need Incogni is because there are people out there known as data brokers, and they just collate all of your personal information. Anything from your email, your full name, your address, even your political affiliation. And then they sell all of this info on you far and wide, which is why all of these marketing agencies and businesses are randomly contacting you. And not just that, but there's people using this information to con people out of money. It's pretty freaking serious, like. And that is where Incogni come to the rescue. They reach out to all these data brokers on your behalf and demand that all your information be removed from their databases. And they don't just do this for a one-time thing. They will continue to police the internet on your behalf to make sure that your details don't get out there again. All you need to do is click the link in the description, create an Incogni account, and tell them whose data you want removed. You then grant them the right to work on your behalf. Kick back, relax, and Incogni will let you know when you're all sorted. And the great thing is it's risk-free for 30 days, so if you try it and you don't fancy it, you can always get a free refund. So take back your personal data today. Click the link in the description below and use the code Geordie, all block capitals, all one word, and you can get 60% off your annual plan. Big thanks to Incogni for looking after us all, but for now, enjoy the video. Elon also touches on the electric vehicle incentive cuts in the bill, and he says even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched, which is very unfair, you can keep the cuts, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there's never been legislation that looks both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get big and ugly or slim and beautiful. And it's funny because Trump obviously accused Elon of switching up once he realized it was going to affect his business. And Elon, he's gone back in time, like 50 Cent or something here, and he's now bringing up old interviews from Donald Trump where he said the exact opposite.
Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate. I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing.
I've got to say, Elon really, he did Trump there, big time. That's it. You said I've all of a sudden switched up. Here's a fucking interview of you saying I've been fantastic about that, and I didn't mention anything about the electric vehicle issue. Elon also is like retweeting stuff as well, like this. I have a plan to cut spending, increase spending. Quite like that guy's face. Elon then starts bringing up Trump's old tweets, where basically he's totally contradicting himself. Donald Trump in 2013 said, "I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed," which is exactly what Donald Trump is doing now. Where is the man who wrote these words? Elon asks. Was he replaced by a body double? He's going in, and I'm here for it. Like he's right. What he's saying is right. Trump should debate this with Elon, like the way he did, with the Ukrainian leader. Let's have this out in the White House in public. Explain what your case is. Let Elon explain his case. We'll see who comes out on top. I think if Trump doesn't tackle this head on the way he does with everything else, I think it'll show you what he really believes. Even if you don't hear it from his mouth, the actions will say everything. I didn't realize he's also gone and got even more tweets, which is like 2011. The more you learn about the debt deal, the worse it gets. And there's just a whole bunch of budget tweets from Donald Trump where basically he's going against everything he's doing now. Trump then responds on his own social saying the easiest way to save money in our budget budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I always was surprised that Biden didn't do it. He then said Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Elon replies, such an obvious lie, so sad. There may be a slight bit of truth that Elon was a bit, pissed about that. Elon is going off on this bill more than anything. If he was going to make it about the electric vehicle thing, I think that would have been done behind closed doors, a favor for a favor, I help you out, you help me out. I think this is a massive build-up of all the frustrations of Elon, and now he's just looking at it going, this ain't going the way I thought it was. Fuck this, I'm ripping it all up. And as much as people might disagree with his take on it, I admire the fact that even though he clearly really liked Donald Trump and clearly really respected him at one point, I do think he's got a bit mental about it. But when things aren't going the right way, he will just say, nah, fuck this. I'm not on anyone's team. I'm on the team that wants to make this right. And if we're not going in the direction that I was under the impression of, then fuck it. That being said, some people will accuse him of being disloyal for this, and I do think he probably could have gone about it in a better way. Donald Trump responds, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase, and things will get far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here trying to fix it. Elon then goes even harder, saying that Trump's tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. And whether that's right or wrong, when Trump says you should have done this sooner, bro, you've been around Trump. He's been banging on about tariffs since before he got elected. So, why are you just talking about this now you've fallen out with him? Where the fuck has this been? Elon then asks the public, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? We'll see what the votes are. I'll click yes, see what the votes are. 81% yes. I mean, I think that's happening in a lot of countries, right? People are fed up with the left-right option where both of them are doing their own thing anyway for their own good. And Elon later tweeted all right, yeah, Trump's got another 3.5 years. I'm going to be here for the next 40. And I don't think that he is giving up by a long shot here. This might even just be the beginning for Elon Musk in politics. And that sentiment of the everyday person being represented, it's so fucking necessary, right? We're crying out for it. For so long, you hear about people being represented who the majority of a population are well, what the fuck is it doing for us, though? If he carries on with this, who knows where this might end up? He's probably onto something. There was then footage of Donald Trump at a meeting that day, and he's getting the information as it's coming out of what Elon's accusing him of, especially the Epstein stuff. You look at the look on his face here. He's furious. I mean, you can see he's not a happy camper. He's really pissed. I mean, I'm not saying he's usually the most happy guy, but fucking hell, he's in a miserable mood. I mean, look at them trying to fake a smile there, fucking hell. One thing that did make me laugh is that people started doing fake replies, that Donald Trump could have tweeted. That totally was a Nazi salute that Elon did, by the way. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. And if there is one political mind I have to give some credit to for yesterday, who finally spoke a bit of sense about these two, it's Jake Paul. No, I'm serious, it really is Jake Paul. The guy actually is a smart kid, right? I know he gets punched in the face for a living, but he just said we unfortunately have these alpha male egos and leaders who aren't mature enough sometimes. They're 50 plus years old and they're diss-tweeting each other. They need to work together and not make America look bad. And everyone's is that Jake Paul just saying the thing that everyone is actually thinking? Yeah, fuck me. So look, I think a lot of people knew that this was probably going to come at some point with two massive egos, working together. At some point, they're going to disagree. And we've seen the consequences. Apparently, there's going to be a phone call where they're going to try and hash things out. And I think there's a lot of damage control going to be needed, especially for Donald Trump, by the way, because let's not forget, after all we've been talking about, you've just been fingered, not literally, but accused of being one of the Epstein guys by someone extremely powerful and extremely close to you. That needs addressed immediately. And if you're asking me, who do I agree with more? It's a difficult one because taxes are killing people right now. There's just not enough money. I get why you'd want to ease the pressure on people right now and also deliver on the things you promised. But ultimately, it isn't getting rid of the problem. It's just prolonging it and kicking it down the road. And I think Elon overall is probably right. But look, I'm just, true Geordie, fucking, I do most of me talking about people getting punched in the face. What do I know? You You let me know what you think in the comments below. Big love to everyone who supports the channel. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the True Geordie YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.